Hi, I'm Damien and this is Enneagram Life, and today I'm going to give you a general overview of Enneagram Type 3. So, Enneagram Type 3 is a shame type. Now, I don't want anyone to be confused by the term shame type into thinking that this means like humble. It means really the direct opposite. All of the shame types, the 2, the 3, and the 4, are very prideful. In fact, shame and pride are the same emotion in the Enneagram terms, and in terms that they mean it for these titles. So, the title of shame types, for example. So, on one side of the coin you have shame, and on the other side you have pride. And it's really about, do you define a group based on the emotion that they're running away from, or do you define them based on the emotion that they're running towards? And so we happen to call them the shame types, the emotion they're running away from. But they're definitely running towards pride. It's the same thing. They could easily have been called the pride types. And it's really important to understand that, because the type 3 and the type 2 and the type 4, the shame types, are all very prideful people. They're often very arrogant. And that's the opposite of being humble. So a type 3 in particular, it takes this core of shame or pride, and that emotional core, and it processes that into a particular emotional place. And the word that I think best describes this emotional place that the type 3 has processed the shame and pride into is recognition seeking. That's the phrase. The type 3 is the recognition seeking type. They are highly recognition seeking. Yeah. So, I think understanding that phrase, recognition seeking, is the key to understanding Enneagram Type 3. Basically what I mean by that is they want to get recognition from people. And they always feel like they're not getting enough recognition from people. They haven't gotten enough. They always want more. And it doesn't matter how much they have, they always want more. And that's one way you could see them as a shame type. You could say, well, they don't feel good enough. They don't feel they have enough. That's a form of shame. You could see it that way. Or you could see that need for more as a form of pride. That they have this really strong belief that they deserve so much more recognition. However you see it, they're out there and they're recognition seeking, and they fully believe they're not getting enough recognition, no matter how much recognition they have. So recognition, it's the money, it's the goal, it's the be-all and the end-all of the type 3. It's how they see the world, it's what they want from people, it's what they offer to people, it's what they give. It's so much of what a type 3 is. And so by recognition, I mean, well, it's in so many ways. It can be like if you cook a meal for your husband and then he says, is that sexist? If you cook a meal for your wife and then she says, that was a lovely meal, that's recognition. If, on your sports team, someone says, I noticed that you're the best shooter on this team, or something like that, that's recognition. If you get a new scout badge, that's recognition. If you get a raise at work, if you get a title at work, chief blah, 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 that's recognition. Recognition is all of this kind of thing. And it does even go right down to the really low level of someone saying hello to you in their mind. Like, that is massively recognition that they want, and they're going to feel they deserve, and they're going to seek. So recognition seeking, that is definitely the phrase to summarize what the type 3 is all about And of course, there's a bunch of other things that they're known for. Vanity, which you can see relates to recognition. It's about thinking you're awesome, vanity. It's about thinking you look fantastic. The word image, you can see how that's worked into image. I mean, the word image is worked into vanity because that's about look. Yeah. Highly image focused. So by that, it's all sorts of things, but often it becomes like they look at the world defined as an appearance type of a thing. All scientists wear lab coats, that kind of a thing. The image is the reality, is the saying that type 3s love. They love that concept of the image being the reality. If you drive a Mercedes, you must be rich. This kind of thing is all part of image. And it shows in really small ways too, like when a type 3 joins a new hobby, and let's say, like maybe it's mountain climbing, they're going to go out and they're going to buy all the cool mountain climbing gear. And they're going to look like the most professional mountain climber. And they've probably only been doing it 2 weeks or something. Because that's about the image. And that's so important to them. Yeah. And the image is so important for various reasons, but really it all comes back to that wanting recognition. And because if you want to be seen as, and you want to be recognized as a scientist, wearing a lab coat is a really good way to get that recognition. And so that's how it relates, how recognition seeking relates to image, and it relates to vanity. Yeah, I mean, I know this type 3 in particular. In fact, so most of the type 3s that I've known, the amount of time that they spend in front of a mirror, like if you just took the average type 3 and over a week measured how long they looked at themselves in a mirror, I guarantee that's going to be much higher than the average of all the other types. Well, than the average of any of the other types. Absolutely. Yeah. So during times of stress, they appear like a type 9, and they take on the negative aspects of a type 9 during times of stress. And what that is about is, it relates to how, generally the type 3 is out there and they're trying to achieve more. They're trying to be seen to achieve. So they're trying to get the trophy rather than the actual skills that the trophy represents, for example. But often to get the trophy, you have to get the skills. So those two things can be related. But that's what they want. They want that placard, that thing that says, this guy is awesome. And so during times of the type 9 is known to be more sort of very relaxed and chilled. And a negative aspect of that is kind of a laziness. And so that's the place during stress that the type 3 moves towards. It stops trying to achieve in its positive sense, in the good sense of trying to achieve things, and becomes more lazy and less concerned about trying to achieve things. Now, during times of growth, type 3 moves towards the type 6, and this is about realizing a more complex reality than the image is. The image is the truth. Realizing sort of a deeper reality of just because someone wears the lab coat doesn't mean they are a scientist. Maybe they're just trying to pretend to be a scientist. And so that's kind of like the positive aspect of the type 6 in that it doesn't just take things for granted on the surface. And yeah, they question. And they want to know, is there a reality? They're looking for a reality and a truth. That's a positive aspect of the 6. And so that's where the type 3 is heading in a time of growth, away from just believing that image is reality and trying to impress people and trying to get recognition and believing it's awesome, to trying to really know what's true and what to believe in and working to discover that. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this, please comment, subscribe, and press the like button.